What's up, guys? Quick video because I'm shooting this in between other videos, but we just picked up some vampire crabs. We're gonna take the tank, this tank that was from up there. I brought it down. This is how it's looking. It's actually looking almost like how I want it, which is gonna be 70-80% land and like 20-30% water for the vampire crabs. But that's the environment they need. We're gonna have to get this glass cleaned up first of all, and then kind of restructure all the ground terrain part. And then I'm gonna grab some more of the rocks and kind of push it and probably make a little ramp for them right here. But I do need the water to be heated and there to be a filter, so I'm probably gonna toss in a sponge filter. But we are just gonna go ahead and start scraping all this off with, where is it? With my razor. So if you guys haven't watched the other video, these are my vampire crabs. My first time owning them, I did a little bit of research. I'm guilty of it being like more of an impulse buy, but I was at Jay's store for a good probably 2 hours trying to debate, and while I was there I was just researching about them. They were gonna go in my cube up there, but it wasn't gonna be an ideal environment for them, so we're definitely gonna try to keep it more ideal, and let's give it a go. All right, let's just see. It's a crusty razor, but I just like to wet it a little bit. Oh yeah. All right, so all that, this is some water I sucked out of there. All right, you guys don't want to see that, so let's skip ahead. All right, just like that, guys. Look at it. It looks, well, new compared to how it was looking before. I got so bad that like it stained the glass. Like I tried scraping this, and I don't know. I got to use a little bit more elbow grease, but bam, you can see through it. Obviously, all the crusties caused by the calcium buildup, but yeah, it looks good. It looks fantastic. Just got to give it a rinse. It's just gonna be way too much of a pain if I removed all the substrate. So I'm just gonna flood it and drain it a couple times while scrubbing the sides with a plastic scrubby, but literally this was 10 minutes. How do I know it's 10 minutes? Because I have a timer on my phone because I gotta pick up my daughter soon and it hasn't even gone off yet. But I'm gonna go pick her up and we'll come back and continue this project. So we are just flooding the tank right now. Oh, I should get my little scrubby. I'm gonna get these walls nice and wet. We're gonna flood it. A lot of stuff's gonna float like that. A lot of the heavier big things are gonna stay at the bottom like that. And then when we siphon it out, we'll just suck it out. And that's why it's a little bit elevated, so I can siphon easily. All right, so what I did, just grab this little scrubby. It's supposed to be a spawning mop, but that didn't happen. I just went along and cleaned. I gotta put some more effort into it, but it's already wobbling. I stopped the water because I don't want this stool to crap out on me. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I mean, the stains are still here. If you guys can kind of see the discoloration, might have to go at it with some barkeepers or something. We'll figure it out. But always remember, when you guys are scraping the glass with a razor blade, be careful. I've already done it where I've got in a little bit. You always want to watch the silicone. A little bit, it's not going to hurt, but if you get in too much, I mean, eventually it might affect it. But already it's looking really good. Just some minor spots that I missed. And then we're going to drain it, and that's why this is elevated, and hopefully, I mean, the stool supports me, so yeah, I mean, maybe if I filled this tank 20 gallons, it would collapse, but it's like what, maybe 5 gallons? It's like 50 pounds, shouldn't be too bad. So let's drain it, flood it again. We'll try to net out all this floating stuff. All the heavier things sank to the bottom, so we're just gonna siphon those because those should suck up quickly with the siphon. We're actually looking pretty good right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of scaping. Now, when I say scaping, it's definitely a loose term. Grab my river rocks to create the border or the boundary of where I want the water to kind of start. But it's pretty much going to be just compiling everything onto one side, and definitely is getting mucky because apparently I forgot that I used stratum in this tank. So we're going to put all the big pieces to one side while keeping this kind of ramp here. And then let's expose all the sand that was on the other side while almost doing this blindfolded because the water is just got super muddy. But I do want to have a lot more land than water, so I'm going to try to gauge about where that would be if I can find all the little rocks. All right, now that I can see a little bit better of what I'm working with, let's start creating the rock work. All right, luckily I have a bucket of clean substrate. So this was from a previous tank, and it'll work perfectly for what I'm looking for. It's once again just a mixture of blasting sand, some Eco-Complete, and I'm pretty sure a little bit of aqua soil. So this corner I'm working on right now is going to be the highest slope. So just pile it on there right now. Normally I'd probably add some lava rock as a base just so I'm not using so much of this. But I've got a lot, as you can see, to use. So we are just going to, might as well just pour it straight from the bucket, but then I've got to raise it above my head to that shelf, so I don't want it to be too high. Yeah, that might be okay, but definitely I'm going to need some more rock. Okay, so I don't have any more river rock, so it looks like we're going to have to add some dragonstone, but I don't want two types of rock in this tank. So we are going to use some of this river rock under then as a filler to elevate the levels of the gravel, the black gravel mixture. So I'm just jamming them right in there, kind of stuffing them down. And we'll drain a little bit. Almost got in my mouth. All these pieces that just lump pieces will be perfect. And also this Dragonstone is not super clean, so I expect it to leach a little bit. Yeah, that guy's bleeding a lot. I say bleeding, but it's just all this clay that's in the little divots of the Dragonstone. Alright guys, so how it's looking. I did end up I grabbed some lava rock and I'm going to put it down as filler because I underestimated how much land area I would need. So we are just going to do the pour. Hopefully this is not crazy heavy where I can't lift it to where it's got to go. But everything will be alright in the end. But definitely put way too much on this side. This is kind of what we're looking at, kind of how I envisioned it. A lot of land, little water, and now just to position some of the wood. How I wanted it. Something like that. Piece. Is that too much? Does that look? Yeah, I think that's good. Give them some sort of a bridge access to get out of the water. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Give you guys a top shot. Looking like that. A little bit of water, a lot of bit of land. I am gonna cover a good chunk of it with some, what do I have? Cocoa coir and maybe some cocoa bark to make it look a little bit more natural and have the back act as like the bottom act as like a soil, like a dirt. So let me go get that. Got my materials. We got all-purpose clay sand, which we are just going to kind of scatter along the water areas. Not too much of it. Don't want that much water displacement. That should be good. Got some peat moss. To my plants, but I'm going to sprinkle a base layer on the black. I don't want to get it too close to the water because this will leach tannins. I am not against tannins, but
kind of want the water to stay as clear as it can for as long as it can. Yeah, that's good. And then our cocoa coir chunks. This gives it a little bit of texture. These vampire crabs, they're, from what I've researched, they're mostly wild caught, and their natural environment is a like forest floor. So I think that gives it a nice little touch. So kind of how it's looking. It's almost looking terrarium-like, but once everything gets moist, I think that'll look a lot better. So let's wet it down and set it up. Guys, made a big mistake. I grossly underestimated how heavy this tank was going to be. I had to drain 99% of the water out. Obviously, the other 1% was because I couldn't get to it. And it took me 10 minutes to try to get it up here. I'm not a big guy, but you know, I can hold my own. This was just a crazy challenge, but it's all set. I drained and filled it one more time, so I think right there should do it. Put the water. All I have to do is just add a heater and probably a mini sponge filter, and we should be good to go. Let me finish that up and then I'll give you guys a tour. All right, guys, we're pretty much done. Water level's a little bit higher than I wanted, but I was trying to adjust it so I can get the sponge filter working. Tossed in a new sponge filter and then a small mini heater. Now we're just going to dose with some dechlorinator and some Fritzheim 7 for the bacteria. And then we should be good to go. I just temped the water. Oh, crap. I forgot that I put the little lid on. I just put it on the lid only. What that should do. Seven. Okay, we are good. I did temp it a few minutes ago and it was at 71, which is probably the bare minimum that they need to be at. Ideally, I think I want it to be at 78. I do have a mini heater in there, which should get me to close enough. Oh, all right. So we're dropping a little bit. That's 69.6. So, just gonna make sure the heater's on. All right, crabs are here. They've been chilling for a minute. I did also read that different species could get territorial and start fighting. So I gave them a 20-gallon long. So it should give them enough space to have their own territories. I do want to add some more hides in there. I've got some coconut shells that I'm gonna break off so it creates little tunnels or little caves. But let's get this open and acclimated. Mid. Come in here for a little bit like that, and probably in like 20 minutes, once I see the temperature has risen, we'll release them. All right, it's been about 10-15 minutes. We are back, and we're already temping. You guys see that 79.5. Hopefully 77. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot. It shouldn't. 76. So it's between 76 78. which is perfect. So I went and made those little hides for these guys. I'm gonna put them, god dang it. Put them on a couple different sides. Let's see what they want to do. I also kind of want to see them, so got one there, one over there. We're going to add a couple plants. Now these plants already have been rooting, and they should be fine in this environment as long as I give it a little bit of light. Pothos is a Monstera Peru. I don't want to do it so I'm hiding my equipment. Giving them a little bit more of a natural environment. I do want to add some more plants in here, maybe some plants that aren't long and viney, but I think this is good for now. Yeah. So far so good. I mean, ideally I want better plants, but we are going to release them. Now supposedly their claws are too small where they shouldn't pinch. Kind of freaked out trying to grab these, but here we go. There's one guy. Two and three. There. And here is number 4. All right, there they are. They also said that they're social creatures and should be ideally kept in groups. I think when they say groups, they were talking about 5 or 6, but might have to get some more. Let's get in there for a closer look, guys. So this is everything. I know the lights are on because it's late. All my tanks are, all the lights went out, but we got a guy under there. This one here. Another one skittered off this way. But that's how it's looking. The water area. My sponge filter and the heater is back there in that corner. This is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna wait. I mean, this can evaporate, but I'll probably, I don't know. I want it just above the sponge filter line because it's looking a little watery here, like too much. I know it's gonna evaporate fast. That's also why I want the lid. Cool. And I totally did end up breaking the stool. Cracked. Anyways, that was fun for me. I haven't had a new species that I had to set up a brand new tank and scape it really quick for a while. So yeah, that was fun. New experiments. Impulse buys are not good, but do your research and know that you have space for your new pet. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something today because I learned a lot. I'll see you guys in the next one.